This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Another rash of gun violence in the metro area. Over the weekend, double-digit shootings in less than 36 hours. And Portland police say they're getting pushed to the brink. Now the police union releases a plan to help officers on the street.
It is a place that every resident, business, and visitor depends on.
Talking about Portland's wastewater treatment plant, the source behind the clean water that comes out of city taps. So just about 5 minutes from now, we're going to tell you about the plan to give that facility some much needed upgrades and improvements.
And good morning from Cascade Locks in the Gorge. You know, it's home to a lot of Native American history, and a lot of those traditions still going very strong, like fishing for salmon, steelhead, and sturgeon here in the Columbia River. You know, they are celebrating the second Monday of October because in Oregon, it is no longer known as Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day. So what that means, coming up on Sunrise here in about 15 minutes.
All right, we have Nina live there in the Gorge, Brenda Braxton live in studio this morning, and Rodney Hill coming in from the Weather Center. Lots to talk about today weather-wise, Rodney.
We have snow at Timberline Lodge. We have a camera up there, you know.
Let's see it.
Let's see that camera. All right, here we go. I just checked. They are at 23 degrees. They have 4 inches of new snow up there, and it is snowing at pass level. Every single Cascade pass camera shows some snow accumulation on the ground this morning. So if you are traveling, making that drive over the high country, check conditions before you get going. So the radar, this solid green is just the radar being overly sensitive. Most of the shower activity is in fact offshore right now, but there are a few showers inland. And the white, of course, is the snow up over the high country. A chilly start. 40 degrees at the bus stop this morning. Some of you are in the 30s. There is a spotty shower chance. By noon, that rain chance is over. We'll be partly cloudy in 53. And then this afternoon, a lot of sun, but I think we hold in the 50s. I have us at 58 degrees, guys.
All right, Rod, thank you very much. We start this morning with the gun violence in Portland that is absolutely out of control. Police responded to at least 13 shootings within 28 hours this weekend, and officers tell us they are stretched thin.
Yeah, that's why Portland Police Union is calling for change. KGW's Tim Gordon has more this morning on the union's proposal to double the size of the city's police force over a period of 5 years.
The city that works is not working too well when it comes to policing. The head of the Portland Police Association says it's simple math.
The police force was larger, 20 years ago than it is today, with about 170,000 fewer residents of the city of Portland.
Daryl Turner is a former officer who leads the police union during difficult times. Gun violence is up, including homicides like the latest over the weekend at McCoy Park in North Portland.
People who are victims of violent crime having to wait 8 minutes for a response from a police officer. That is unacceptable, and that is not the police officer's fault. That is the fault of not having the proper staffing that we need to support a city and a metro area that we need to support.
Turner says the city currently has 916 allocated sworn positions from the newest recruits to the chief of police. 794 are currently filled, with 59 in training. The police union released what it calls a 5-year vision for public safety and policing. It calls for a lot more cops. The PPA suggests the city hire 840 additional officers over the next 5 years, doubling the force. That would include rehiring 50 recently retired officers in each of the next 2 years, and lobbying the state to allow Portland to set up its own police academy to get large numbers of recruits trained and on the job.
We've been running on fumes for many years. So what we proposed were several options to be able to enhance the patrol function of our organization for the next few years, as well as building up with new officers coming in to the fold over the next 5 years.
The vision comes during a time of police downsizing. City leaders have cut millions from the PPB budget, and there are vocal critics who don't think more officers are the answer. Unite Oregon is one such group, which calls for more defunding. Its deputy director wrote, "This is clearly a bargaining tactic, and we as residents of Portland should ask ourselves, is the solution to the problems we are facing to throw more money at PPB, or is it to actually fund community-centered solutions like behavioral health and affordable housing?"
It is not greed. It is not trying to leverage contract negotiations.
The police union is bargaining for a new contract right now, but Turner says that's not what this is about. But we know there are competing interests for city money, including to expand the Portland Street Response, which sends paramedics and mental health workers to certain nonviolent crisis calls. A recent PSU study found that would be a good move.
We also reached out to Mayor Ted Wheeler's office. He is the police commissioner. A spokesperson said they wouldn't be making a statement today, but that the mayor will lay out his plan for PPB staffing in about a week. Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Meanwhile, complaints in Portland about cars, trucks, and RVs illegally parked on city streets continue to pile up. A KGW investigation found that in the first 7 months of this year, Portland residents filed more than 3,800 complaints about abandoned vehicles, illegally parked cars, and trash in city streets. That's a 107% increase from the same period of time last year. So what's the solution? Well, just across the Columbia, the city of Vancouver has created what they call safe parking spaces, set up so people living in their cars or RVs have a legal place to stay. Vancouver's safe parking zone is set up at an old C-Tran bus transit center, and it holds about 50 cars, RVs, and trailers. It also has portable toilets, hand washing stations, and garbage pickup.
It's hard to try to transition from trying to find a job and then just leaving your stuff out there, because potentially it's either going to get towed or it's going to get ripped off or it's going to get broken into.
Similar programs have also been set up in Oregon, in both Beaverton and Eugene. But what about Portland? Well, Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan has proposed creating a similar setup in the parking lot of the Portland Expo Center. But Metro, which owns that lot, said no.
New this morning, drug maker Merck has asked U.S. regulators to authorize emergency use of its antiviral pill to treat COVID. The company says data from clinical trials shows the pill reduces the chances that patients newly diagnosed with COVID would be hospitalized by about 50%. If cleared by the FDA, it would be the first pill to treat COVID. A judge has said no to the 33 state troopers who sued to temporarily stop Oregon's vaccine mandate. The judge ruled the state has the power to enact public health laws, even if they, quote, may have the effect of curtailing individual rights. The judge also said Governor Brown is acting within her legislative authority. The mandate requires all executive branch state employees, including troopers, to be fully vaccinated by October 18th. That's a week from today. It also applies to many healthcare and education workers.
Well, for the first time in decades, Portland's wastewater treatment plant is getting some major improvements. The upgrades include new clarifying pools. Old buildings will also come down, and 90% of the materials from those buildings will be used to put up new ones that are safer and more efficient. And seismic upgrades are also being made to deal with the threat of earthquakes. The Bureau of Environmental Services says this $400 million project is the biggest upgrade to the wastewater plant in half a century. It is a steep price tag, but the city says Portland residents will not see an increase in their rates or a change in service. This project is expected to wrap up 3 years from now in 2024.
Well, if you were out and about yesterday, you may have gotten caught in some stormy weather. Check out this video from our Timberline Lodge Skycam. The resort is getting its first major snow of the season. Oh, that's exciting. We still have a ways to go before skiers and boarders can hit the slopes, but seeing that, I know that they are ready.
All right, Rod Hill is standing by with more on our local weather, but first, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded a 6.5 magnitude earthquake earlier this morning off Alaska. This was just a few hours ago. The National Weather Service says there is no tsunami threat to any part of the West Coast. But again, Rod, that is coming up just a moment from now.
Yeah, we want to take a closer look at that because you see some of the tweets, but I know you've got a map of the bigger area, Rod.
Yeah, so, Anchorage up here inland, there's Kodiak, and here's the Aleutian Island chain. This is just offshore, not that many miles, actually. Magnitude 6.9. Now, luckily, as Brenda and Drew mentioned, no tsunami warnings, no injuries or anything that we know about. But it's a good reminder that we are in earthquake country up and down much of the west, or all the west coast of the United States, and certainly up in Alaska. And 6.9 is large enough, of course, to make news. So that is where that happened last night. Here's a look at what's going on currently. We have scattered rain showers feeding inland. Not much of this is penetrating into the Willamette Valley, and most of the showers the last several hours have actually even stayed offshore. But there is a shower chance in the forecast, spotty stuff. through this morning. Otherwise, it's really partly cloudy out and pretty nice. Temperatures, I say pretty nice, but temps are chilly. 36 Hillsborough, 39 Scappoose, 39 Happy Valley. We've had a bunch of these mornings lately, right? With temperatures getting into the 30s and with the chill in the air. Salem, a little bit cooler. Good morning to you folks. 45 out there at McNary Field. Temperatures elsewhere. Bend is at 28 degrees. That's the cold spot on the map. Warmer out in the Dalles, though, at 50 degrees with some cloud cover. So the forecast, AM shower chance. Otherwise, this is a partly to mostly sunny day with cool temperatures for this time of the year. This shows Salem and Corvallis each at 57, McMinnville at 59. Similar numbers up in Southwest Washington. And by the way, notice the lows tonight. Tonight, there could be some 32-degree temps in a few spots in outlying areas with some patchy frost. So if you live in a spot that's typically colder than, say, Portland, maybe you have some frost to begin your Tuesday. Otherwise, notice late rain coming in tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening, some light showers on Wednesday. Thursday is your next dry day. Okay, a special treat because live from Cascade Locks, Oregon, we have Nina Melhoff this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Rod. So today is the second Monday of October, and all growing up as kids, we knew it and the song as Columbus Day. But that is over with in Oregon. You know, it has a new name voted in by lawmakers, and a lot of people, especially here in the Gorge, are hoping that it spurs understanding of Native American culture and all they've been through.
All right, before that report from Nina, we do have a Verify report for you this morning as well. It's all about a popular sore throat remedy. That story is right after this quick break.